Gotta love a good surprise first thing in the morning.
Oh, behave.
Well, there's levels to the surprises, but that's a good one. Hey, what's good guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and review on these bad boys right here. This is the Air Jordan 6 in the Yellow Ochre colorway. It's a brand new look for the shoe, even though it's a familiar color blocking. The packaging right here is just like any other Air Jordan 6, but they colored it up the same way as the shoes. So we've been seeing that a lot lately with the Air Jordan 3s and 4s and so on. So now they're doing it with the 6s, and I don't mind it whatsoever. I think that these are really dope personally. I really just love this color blocking of the Air Jordan 6. It's my favorite. This is my favorite Air Jordan 6, so any of them that looks like it, but in different colors, I just think it's a good move. Now, before we deep dive into these, I just wanted to give one quick nitpick up front, and that is the toe box. They've kind of reverted back to the boxy look. I don't love that. It's got a little bit of reinforcement in there. I really love what they did with this one, and even then, this one is still a little bit boxy for me. I really love what they did with the black and infrareds. Not being any Nike Air on the back, the toe shape on those was just exquisite. So yeah, these guys right here, hopefully you'll be able to see it in the B-roll, but they're just a little like boxy again. Fun fact though, that actually is more accurate to the original. I just don't like it. So it's one of those things where that's closer to the original shape of the shoe, but I love just the smooth look. You know what I mean? I don't like... Now, the Air Jordan 6 originally debuted way back in 1991. It's famously known as the shoe that MJ won his first championship in. It's also the shoe that he did the left to right or right to left. It's not left to right, it was right to left. The old switcheroo layup against the LA Lakers, and phew, man, it was awesome. What a highlight that was. Now, as far as the Air Jordan 6 outsole is concerned, it is one of the prettiest, I must say, in the long line or long history of what, they're now on 38 models of just flagship shoes. So the mainline signature, not all the team stuff. This is just one of the prettiest outsoles there is. I mean, look at it. It is awesome. There's nothing better than a crazy ass outsole pattern design with a giant Jumpman in the middle. There just isn't. The midsole itself is polyurethane. Inside the polyurethane midsole is an encapsulated 4-foot air sole unit, whereas in the rear, it's a visible air sole unit, which you can visibly see, hence Vis Air. And inside the shoe, it actually is board blasted, just like the originals. It's that OG torsion support. And on top of that, believe it or not, it's a polyurethane insole. Like, they must have just had some extras of these, because I was shocked when I pulled this out. I was like, oh man, it's Christmas in January. Now, as far as the materials are concerned, they're very nice, I think. Most Air Jordan 6s done up in this type of color blocking usually are. You have actual leather overlays, which is all the white panels. This time around, they happen to be textured. Not quite tumbled, but they are textured. And then if you were going to compare them directly to, say, the Carmines right here, these just have a very flat kind of leather. There are texture dots or whatever, you know, those little, like, the fake stuff. Even though it's real leather, it's just the polyurethane coat is just done so smoothly that there's no actual texture within the top coat. Whereas these guys, they do have a little bit of texture. I really like that. I don't prefer either one over the other. I know that this is more original to, like, say, this color blocking, but this looks equally as nice. So if I were going to compare these to anything that released recently, the UNC's probably the one that jumps out at me the most. Similar color blocking, and the materials are almost identical. Now, all the yellow areas are typically synthetic. This one is a little bit thicker than the Carmines. The Carmine is straight synthetic everything as far as the red materials go. Whereas these yellow ones, when you look at the cut lines, you can actually see that there are leather fibers in there, which is really weird. Weird in a good way, not weird in a bad way. Just because I didn't expect that. Like, why do that when you didn't have to? So it's not 100% leather as far as the yellow portions are concerned, but it's a composite, so it's kind of like scraps, and then they're all glued together. It's what I like to call the particle board of leather. And just in case you were wondering what it looked like compared to the Yellow Ochre ones, it's a little bit lighter in shade, kind of strange. So also different materials completely, so that could be a reason why. They also could have been made at two totally separate factories, and just the color swatches weren't quite matching, you know what I mean? Like, I think the printed stuff, like the boxes, are more on par with one another, because that's like a digital thing. Whereas with something like the materials, you're trying to get it as close as possible, and sometimes it just doesn't hit, you know what I mean? And I forgot to do this last time, but in case you guys were wondering, like, if you're like being like, how yellow is it? It's not like this. Like, this is bright ass yellow. This is more a toned down yellow, you know what I mean? So
to be fair though, because the ochre ones are a darker, I feel like you could put them all out on a table and be like, this is our ochre yellow line, you know? Like
the degrees?
Yeah, especially because the netted part and the laces of the Sabrinas are darker.
Well, that's what I meant by, like, they're different materials. It's like really hard to one for one, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not the same thing. Like, they're sourcing each of these materials from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then then they're arriving at the factory for manufacturing. So when you have something like this, and then you compare it to the same exact color somewhere else, it's not gonna be identical. It's close enough. But if you were wondering just how yellow they are, because I know a lot of people were asking like, do I need this if I got another yellow shoe? Honestly, no, you don't need anything. Like, don't buy it just because. Buy it because you actually like it. Or maybe you just need some shoes.
Put the 6s in the middle, just so you can see that the rainbow array of yellows we got going on, from lightest to darkest.
Okay, well then there you go. This is in yellow.
Yeah.
And these two over here are more, I just like to call it earth tones.
Somebody in our Discord called it baby poop yellow for the ones.
Like jarred squash.
Yeah.
I could see that. Why do you have to reference poop though?
It wasn't me, it was somebody's wife. And even then, I agree with her, but I still like the ochre color, so.
No, I think it's really clean. It's, like I said, not a pungent, bright, like in your face type of yellow. It's just a neutral kind of like, if yellow could be neutral, this is as neutral as it can get. Everything else on the shoe is exactly the way that you would expect for an Air Jordan 6. They got all the awesome Air Jordan 6 isms. You have the neoprene style tongue inside there. You got plenty of perforations. You have the lace lock always included. You got the lace cover thing. And yes, it still snaps. Then you got the pull tab at the front, and then you also have the spoiler / pull tab at the back. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, you can do one of two things. You can go true to size, they'll be a little bit roomy, or if you wanted a super snug 1-to-1 fit, you could go down half a size. Not a shoe that I would necessarily recommend as like a high tier performer, but if you like feeling like Mike, you know what I mean, then it's a fun one to play in. But with all that being said, I think that this is gonna be a solid release. I don't know if they're gonna sell out though, that's the thing. That's something that I'm very interested in, because I think those yellow ochres were everywhere where we went yesterday.
I think they should be available.
Well, yes, I'm not worried about availability being abundant. I like that. I think that's how things should be, you know, real supply and demand. But it's because these aren't flipping anymore. So like people are like, the fake sneakerheads are not here anymore. They're all like, what are those things that are flipping right now? The Stanley cups? Yeah, they're all over buying cups and let them be occupied with that.
I saw a video of lines outside of Target of people trying to get inside.
What people do for like an extra 50 bucks is just ridiculous. It's like, bro, go pick up an extra shift. Start a YouTube channel, like do something.
Well, I just think it's weird because at least our Starbucks inside of our Target, I've heard them on Cup Day. You can only buy maybe two.
But everybody's bringing their friends and family though. That's how it works at the sneaker releases.
I guess.
You stand behind 2 people and then all of a sudden you're behind 30 and you're like, what the f? And be like, they're my cousins. I was just holding their spot. Welcome to buying things that are in demand all of a sudden.
We're gonna make Drew so happy. We just talked about the Stanley Cups, like he's been wanting us to.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, one last thing. No Nike Air on the back. Not a big deal to me. I've been buying Jordans since they became a brand. Actually, I've been buying them since before they became a brand, but this is how we've always gotten them post-Jordan brand era. We've only gotten them like this twice, during the original Nike Air run and during this new, whatever the you want to call it, era, where things are closer to the original than ever before. Try not to pay attention to my, what the f happened? Like I wore these one time and that happened. What a little bitch! But anyways, I think this is a solid release. Let us know what you think about them down below in the comment section. We would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Hopefully liking the video, leaving a comment, subscribing as well, because, you know, without that, well, we can't grow. So we hope that we earned all of those things from you today. We will catch y'all on the next one. So until then, have a good one.